new book, brand new book, is Stealth: Kamala Harris's Communist Roots. Well, extensively, I don't call her a socialist, I don't call her a progressive or a liberal. She is a communist. There's 392 pages of documentation, Communist Party documents, the whole lot that basically expose Kamala Harris as a lifelong pro-China communist. She's what they call a Maoist. So you don't make those accusations lightly. So this is very, very heavily documented and illustrated. It's a fast read, I'll tell you. It's a very fascinating read. Well, look, millions of Americans are going to go to the polls, and I'm not endorsing anybody. I'm just saying that Kamala Harris is a communist. Her agenda is the Chinese agenda. She will use illegal immigration, refugee resettlement, packing the Supreme Court, and anything she can do to create a one-party state in America which will be subservient to China. That's what we're facing in this election. Australia has a left-wing Prime Minister and technically Australia is part of the Western Alliance, right? But Anthony Albanese, the Prime Minister of Australia, is also a communist, not of the same faction as Kamala Harris, but he started his involvement with the Communist Party in Sydney in the 1980s and is still working with Australian Marxist Leninists and radicals to this day. He even has one of them as his as his chief of staff. So the book is called Comrade Prime Minister Anthony Albanese's 40-year alliance with Australian communism. So that tells you what it's about. That's coming up very soon. It's all written, it's just going through the final stages. It'll be released very shortly after the American election. There's an election coming up, there'll be a lot of interest, and it's always good to get back to the Southern Hemisphere. It's not hard to tempt me down there, so yeah, that is my intention. I think Trump is going to win this election, but I think there's going to be a lot of chaos in the aftermath of that. The Democrats, the left, the communists are not going to go easily. They're going to riot, they're going to challenge elections, they're going to go through the courts, they're going to cause major disruption. I think the Australian one right now is about 50-50. Depends on how good a campaign the coalition runs against the Marxists and the Labour Party. But I think if I can get the information out there to hundreds of thousands of Australians and alert them to the absolute depth of Albanese's communism, I go into everything from his environmental policies, his international military alliance policies, the voice referendum, which was completely a communist operation and which is still now being pursued at state level. I think Australia is going to be shocked to the core at just how deep Anthony Albanese's ties go, and the fact that they're ongoing and increasing, not decreasing. Look, I believe in national sovereignty. I believe that in individual sovereignty. I want Australians to run Australians' affairs, not to have a puppet Prime Minister for China in office. I want Americans to run their own lives, not to have a puppet for China in the White House. And I think that the big battle that's looming before us now is the re-establishment of individual sovereignty, you're the ruler of your own life. Pennsylvania should run Pennsylvania, Floridians should run Florida, Americans should run America, and Australians should run Australia, and Kiwis should run New Zealand. And these are radical ideas, right? And Brazilians should run Brazil, Argentinians should run Argentina, South Africans should run South Africa. And to do that, we've got to get rid of the twin scourges of international communism led by the CCP and their globalist allies in groups in the World Health Organization, the WEF, the United Nations, etc. And I think this is the age where the individual is going to come to the fore, and I want to play a role in that, in exposing the evildoers in these countries so that the people have a better informed choice in the upcoming elections.